Hello, welcome to the video on solving logarithmic equations. This is our third example set C. And as someone who comes from Southern California and has experienced many earthquakes, I particularly appreciate this problem. And our word problem here has to do with earthquakes and the Richter scale. So let's go ahead and read it. It says, how much more intense is a 6.0 magnitude earthquake compared to a 4.5 magnitude earthquake? And some of you out there who might be in a location or have experienced earthquakes can, we could say right off the bat that, hey, a 6.0 is quite a bit stronger than a 4.5. All right. One thing to reinforce here that the equation, the Richter scale equation, has to do with logarithms. Okay, as far as intensity goes. But earthquakes increase exponentially in their magnitude, their strength. Okay, in other words, the difference between a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, they don't go up one fold. Okay, they go up exponentially stronger. But this particular equation that we're given is going to help us figure out the intensity given the magnitude. So here we have R equals log I over I sub O, or I sub naught. Okay, that's the way we would say that. Where R is the magnitude of the earthquake. Okay, and we have the magnitude 6.0 and 4.5 for this particular problem. I is the intensity of the earthquake, and this is what we're going to be looking for. And then I sub naught, or I sub O, okay, is the minimum intensity to compare. And for this problem, go ahead and use 1 for I sub O for both comparisons. Okay, so this will be equal to 1 as we get going here. All right, so the first thing I want to do is figure out these intensities. Let's look at the 6.0 earthquake first. So we know that R is equal to log the intensity over the intensity naught. Now usually means the initial intensity. So I'm going to replace that with just 1. Okay. So let's just look at how this particular equation simplifies. So it's log over I over 1, or simply R equals log I. So for the purposes of this problem, just go ahead and use this formula. Okay, R equals log I. And if we have a 6.0 magnitude earthquake, okay, 6.0 on the Richter scale, we're going to have 6 equals log, and I is its intensity. So now we want to solve this particular logarithmic equation right here. Okay, now we're talking about the common log. So what do we have to do? Okay, well, we have to write this as an exponential equation. So this is going to be 10. Okay, this is 10 right here. Okay, actually, let me write it this way. I think it might be easier to see. Log I equals 6. Okay, so now we know that the base here is 10, because this is the common log. The exponent is 6, and the answer is I. Okay, so the intensity of a 6.0 magnitude earthquake on the Richter scale is 10 to the 6th power. All right, and if you remember back in scientific notation, I'm just going to go ahead and just leave my answer as 10 to the 6th. All right, let's do the same thing now. I'm going to erase this here. Let's do the exact same thing, but now let's figure out the intensity, of the 4.5 magnitude earthquake. So let's go ahead and see if you can do that. All right, write it this way: log I equals 4.5. Right, now I have to change that into an exponential situation, so that's going to be 10 to the 4.5 power is the intensity of 10 to the 4.5 power is the intensity of a 4.5 magnitude earthquake on the Richter scale. So now I want to know how much more stronger is a 6.0 earthquake versus a 4.5 intensity wise. So I'm going to take my 6.0 earthquake's intensity, which was 10 to the 6th, and I'm going to divide it by the intensity of my 4.5 earthquake. Okay, and now's a good time, and hopefully you've had your calculator here. So now's a good time to go ahead and plug this into your calculator, and let's see if you remember how to work with those exponents. Okay. I always like to put things in brackets too. That might help, separate any confusion on your calculator. But I'll give you a moment. You might want to pause the video and calculate this. And if you did this correctly, you'll get something on the order of 31.62. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means our 6.0 earthquake on a Richter scale is about 31.62 times more intense, okay, than a 4.5. And for those of you out there, like I said, who've experienced earthquakes, can relate to that. When you say, well, how strong was the earthquake? Someone says, oh, it was a 4.0. You have a good idea. But if they say it's a 6.0, that's a significant earthquake. And of course, some of the most devastating earthquakes of recent time have been, 8 and 9.0. And you can see how much more intense, these earthquakes are. It's not the Richter scale, it's the intensity. But anyways, nice little science lesson there, and hopefully you'll learn something about earthquakes. And on a personal note, I hope you don't have to experience them. They're actually pretty scary. I think the strongest one I've been in was like a 6.0, a little bit over the 6.0 in Southern California, and it was pretty intense. So believe me, when we're talking about the intensity of earthquakes, this equation, using this logarithms, has it right on. Okay, so 31.62 times stronger, a 6.0 versus a 4.5 on the Richter scale. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the problem. Good luck and keep working hard.